Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home.
Today we are going to talk about collecting vintage petrol lighters. I have talked a good deal in the past about how I entered the hobby as a seller, not really able to collect or keep much of anything that I ran across. I began buying and selling old lighters sometime in the late summer or early fall of 2017. I realized then that I not only had the ability to identify these lighters when those who were selling them did not, but I also was able to, in the vast majority of cases, repair them, refurbish, fix, whatever you want to call it, in order to get the lighter back up and running again. But from the beginning, I was a seller, not a collector. I would often get comments on the YouTube channel where people were asking or referring to my collection, asking about my collection. Maybe I should say complimenting my collection. And I felt every time like I needed to correct them because I was not a collector. Every one of those lighters were gone. When you look in this video of what I do now, at least today, before we have this talk and before I weed a few of them out, what I consider to be my personal collection, you can see that group of Cygnus lighters there. If I'm counting correctly, that is 15 Penguin Cygnuses, and those have all been accumulated, collected, whatever you want to call it, in the last calendar year. It was early in February of last year that I posted a Cygnus along with another aluminum block petrol lighter on the DependableFlame.com Facebook group and offered them up for trade. Within a week or so, I had traded that Cygnus to a gentleman named David Ward, and I have not sold a Cygnus since then. Not only that, but all of those Cygnus you see that I now own, I did not own at that point on February, whatever that date was, February 18th, I think it was, that I posted those lighters for trade. So you can see that while I may not have started or entered the hobby as a collector, the collecting bug has taken hold, and now I find myself in the position where I feel like I need to weed some of these out. There was a gentleman named Richard Ball who I believe founded the Lighter Club of Great Britain. He has passed here in the last year or two. He was spoken very highly of when he passed by countless members of the lighter collecting community. One of them afterwards had quoted him, recalling a story where he had asked him about his collection. He said something to the effect of, once he got to 30, it was time to get rid of one. So I'm obviously past 30, and that's something that I have considered, something that I have pondered and allowed to ruminate over this last year as I've collected what you see here. I know that all of these are not going to stay in my collection. I've had a little bit of fun with some viewers. I have talked at length with Dylan DePie. It is probably time for me to go ahead and sell the Marlboro Cowgirl on the Marlboro Red box. They're on, I believe that's a 2002 or 2003 Zippo. And there are two things I'm trying to accomplish here by rearranging these. One is how are they best displayed, the ones that stay in my collection. And also I need to create a space here that I can set aside the ones that I'm probably going to go ahead and sell. And if you keep an eye through the end of the video, that shelf where you see the Marlboro Cowgirl and the Loss Proof Zippo, second down from the top on the left shelf, that is where you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled if you want to have a little preview of what you might find on eBay here within the next few days. So I may go ahead and sell the multi-wall man. My dad was a big Ford guy, so the Ford Conwall lighter will definitely be staying in the collection.
I will probably be going ahead and selling that emerald green Park anodized advertiser. Some very cool lighters here in my collection. Here's an L&M with a Zippo pipe insert in it. Not a whole lot of value there, so that one will probably be staying in the collection. These down here are some of my daily users or project lighters. So there aren't a lot here that I would not sell for the right price.
But I've separated some of these out just to show. There are a few pieces here that are absolutely will never be for sale. The red portable red crackle ashtray, I believe that was a promotion, some kind of advertising promotion at some point. I don't know what kind of advertising. I don't know what that crown logo is on the top of it, but I do know that it belonged to my grandmother. So that one will be staying in the collection regardless, as will the 14 karat gold electroplate lighter and the Crestcraft that belonged to my father. There are a couple of butane lighters there in the back, one of them that works and one of them that doesn't. Those also are a permanent part of the collection, as they were given to me by my son here recently. That's another thing that I have began to think about here lately, is over the first few years that I was doing this, there were people who would give me lighters, my mother, my son, other people as well. And at first, every one of those lighters, I always offered to pay them for them. But I also always sold them, and it was never even a question at the time. I guess maybe that's sort of what I'm trying to reason through and come to grips with here, is where I used to have a bunch of lighters listed, and I would hope that some of them were priced high enough that I'd get to keep a hold of them. Nowadays, I have more sitting over here on the shelf that I consider part of my collection than I do listed on eBay. And that is not why I got into this business. But the purpose for why I got into the business and what I need to get out of the cigarette lighters that I repair, that I buy, discover, find, however you want to call it, whatever term you want to use,
the time has come to sell some of them. So take a look at what you see. If you see something that you like, get over to the eBay store. Maybe this Semper High. This is one of them I'm really on the fence about, because I really like this lighter, and I got it for not a whole lot of money. The exact kind of lighter I would like to keep in my collection. But I can't keep them all. I am going to keep this 100 Pipers, though. Until next time.